So let's try to answer another criminology board question under the criminology area. So the question is, a researcher is conducting a study on the effectiveness of a new prison rehabilitation program. So which of the following would be the most suitable research design to assess the program's impact on recidivism? Letter A, correlation studies. Letter B, descriptive studies. Letter C, phenomenological studies. And letter D, quasi-experimental studies. So the best answer to this question is letter D, quasi-experimental studies, kasi a researcher wanted to determine or wanted to know if the new prison rehabilitation program is effective or not. So ano bang influence nito on recidivism? So effective ba siya sa recidivism? When I say recidivism, syempre that is the recommission of the crime embraced in the same title of the revised penal code, which when we define it legally. So in the quasi-experimental studies kasi, you need to study the cause and effect relationship between variables. Siyempre, from the word itself, quasi-experimental, meaning itetest mo ngayon yung variables na yan, but of course, in a real-world setting. Again, real-world setting. Ibig sabihin, katulad nito, so itetest mo ngayon yung new prison rehabilitation program doon mismo sa prison facilities natin. So that's why ang gagamitin natin or the most suitable research design for this question is letter D, quasi-experimental studies. So, kasi ang correlation studies, di ba, titingnan mo lang doon yung tinatawag natin na relationship between variables. Kung connected ba yung two or more variables with one another. So that is a correlation studies. While ang descriptive studies naman, syempre that is an accurate portrayal lang naman ng phenomenon, of course, through your observation, documentation, and etc. by exploring the patterns, the attributes, of course, the behaviors of the phenomena that you are trying to describe or that you are trying to portray. That is a descriptive studies. While ang phenomenological studies naman, syempre, kung napapansin niyo yung mga researches na nagsastart sa lived experiences, ibig sabihin that is a phenomenological studies, meaning you wanted to determine the personal experiences of the subject on a particular phenomenon that you cannot question that one kasi nga iba-iba naman ang experience nila or iba naman yung experiences nila on that particular phenomenon. So, ang sagot natin dito, that is quasi-experimental studies kasi the researcher wanted to determine the effectiveness of a new prison rehabilitation program. He wanted to test ngayon yung effectiveness ng bagong prison rehabilitation program and its impact or influence on recidivism. So again, when we say quasi-experimental studies, you need to study the cause and effect relationship between variables but in a real world setting. So this one, so kailangan niya i-test ngayon sa ating prison facilities. So ang sagot natin is letter D.